Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Before we dive into today's story, we just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you all for watching. We truly appreciate your support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It's totally free, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories. Now, with all that said, let's jump straight into the story.
The GPS sputtered, the screen flashing no signal before dissolving into digital snow. Sam cursed, slamming a hand on the dashboard of their converted Sprinter van, affectionately nicknamed the Wanderer. "Great. Just great," he muttered, glancing at Riley beside him. "Lost again." Riley, ever the optimist, peered out the window. Towering pines clawed at the bruised twilight sky. "Hey, look at it this way, Sammy. We're officially off-grid. Exactly what we wanted, right?" He sighed. They had been chasing this elusive off-grid existence for months, ditching city life for the romantic notion of self-sufficiency and tranquility. This particular trail, a barely discernible logging road carved deep into the Washington wilderness, was supposed to be their promised land. A faded, weather-beaten sign, almost swallowed by the encroaching forest, caught her eye. "No camping. Private land. Turn back." Another, even more deteriorated, stood further in, the lettering completely illegible. "Hostile locals probably," Sam dismissed, downshifting. "We'll be gone by morning. What harm can it do?" The Wanderer rumbled further into the woods, past an ancient-looking fence, its posts rotting and wire sagging. They found a small clearing, nestled between silent giants, and parked. As darkness deepened, the forest seemed to hold its breath. The usual symphony of crickets and rustling leaves was replaced by an unnerving stillness. They ate dinner in relative silence, the beam of their headlamps cutting stark swaths through the surrounding gloom. Later, nestled in their sleeping bags, Sam stirred. He thought he heard something, a whisper carried on a non-existent breeze. Riley, already asleep, didn't stir. He dismissed it as his overactive imagination. But then he heard it again. A low, snarling murmur, like voices just beyond hearing, too faint to be deciphered, too persistent to ignore. He strained his ears, the silence between the whispers more terrifying than the sounds themselves. He jolted awake in the pre-dawn light, heart hammering. He hadn't dreamed, or had he? He nudged Riley. "Did you hear anything last night?" She stretched, yawning. "Just you snoring as usual." Sam got out of the van, a knot of unease tightening in his stomach. He circled the Wanderer. And then he saw them. Muddy footprints, indistinct but undeniable, leading right up to the van wall, as if someone or something had been pressed against it. What truly chilled him, however, was that the footprints led in, not out. The unsettling discovery made them both edgy. They packed up quickly, eager to leave the clearing. As they drove back towards the main road, they encountered a small group of people tending a garden. 3 couples, seemingly in their late 20s and early 30s, smiled warmly at them. Their clothes were simple, homespun, and they radiated an unsettling serenity. "Welcome," a woman with kind eyes and a gentle voice said. "We're the residents of Evergreen Collective. You must be new to the area." Sam pondered. "We were just passing through, we're not planning on staying long." "Come join us for breakfast," a man offered. "You look like you could use a warm meal. We bake our own bread." They accepted, the offer of warmth and companionship too appealing to resist. The community was a collection of cozy wooden cabins, solar panels glinting in the weak sunlight. The air was thick with the scent of wood smoke and baking bread. The couples were friendly, almost unnervingly so. They asked about Sam and Riley's travels, listened intently to their stories, and offered unsolicited advice about the healing power of nature. That night, the whispers returned, louder this time. Sam tossed and turned, plagued by nightmares of skeletal figures lurking in the shadows. Riley, usually a sound sleeper, woke up multiple times, claiming she heard her own voice whispering things she would never say, bizarre, twisted phrases that made her skin crawl. One night, Sam awoke to find the Wanderer's engine revving loudly in the clearing. He jumped out, adrenaline coursing through him, and switched off the ignition. The key wasn't in it. When had he taken it out? The next night was the worst. Riley woke him, her eyes wide with terror. "Sam, there's something outside." He looked out the window. Through the trees, he could see a figure standing motionless, its form distorted by the darkness. It was tall and emaciated, its limbs unnaturally long. As it turned its head, Sam saw it had no eyes, just empty, black sockets. Veins, thick and black as tar, pulsed beneath its translucent skin. It reached out a corpse-like hand, pressing it against the window, a low, rasping growl emanating from its throat. Then it muttered, "I will take your soul. Your soul belongs to me." Sam scrambled for the ignition, desperate to escape, the image of the creature seared into his mind. He gunned the engine and sped down the dirt road, the creature's horrifying visage burned into his eyelids. They tried to find their way back to the main road, but the path seemed to loop back on itself, always leading them back to the Evergreen Collective. Despair began to set in. One evening, while helping with chores, Sam overheard a hushed conversation between two of the men. "They're not going to leave," one said, his voice trembling. "It doesn't want them," the other replied, his eyes darting towards Sam. "It wants you. It wants your soul." Driven by fear, Sam confronted the community. He demanded answers, accusations tumbling from his mouth. The couples exchanged knowing glances. Finally, the woman with the kind eyes stepped forward. "You've seen it, haven't you? The entity that dwells in these woods." She recounted a tale of an ancient forest spirit, cursed centuries ago for its greed and cruelty. It was condemned to roam the woods until it collected 100 complete souls, feeding on the life force of those who passed through, unable to touch the land itself. "We were like you, just wanted to leave city life behind," she continued, her voice laced with regret. "Travelers seeking peace. But we were given a choice. Sacrifice others or be taken ourselves. We chose to stay and help collect the souls for the entity. So it could feed on, so we could live." Sam asked, "So how many souls have you collected?" The woman with the kind eyes said, 98 souls so far. Your souls will bring the total to 100. And we will be set free." Sam and Riley were horrified. They were pawns in a macabre game, sacrifices to a hungry god. They made a desperate plan to escape. That night, under the cover of darkness, they crept away from the Evergreen Collective, heading for the main road. But the entity was waiting. It materialized in front of them, blocking their path. Sam shoved Riley forward, shouting, "Fucking run. Get out of here. Don't look back." Riley hesitated, tears streaming down her face, before turning and sprinting towards the road. Sam stayed behind, buying her time, his heart pounding in his chest as the creature turned towards him. Riley ran until her lungs burned, until her legs ached, until she burst onto the paved highway, collapsing in a heap of exhaustion and terror. Hours later, a lone trucker spotted her huddled on the roadside, shivering and sobbing. He stopped, offering her a ride to the nearest town. She gratefully accepted, relieved to be rescued. She sat in the passenger seat, numb with shock, staring blankly out the window. The trucker didn't speak, his face obscured by the shadows of his cowboy hat. As they drove, she glanced at the rearview mirror. Her reflection stared back, her face streaked with tears. But then her reflection smiled. A slow, chilling smile that didn't reach her eyes. Riley hadn't smiled. She turned to look at the trucker, but he was gone. And in his place was the entity, its lips parting, the voice raspy and inhuman, barely a whisper. "You all feed me eventually."
Ready for spine-chilling tales that will haunt your thoughts? Subscribe to Forgotten Storyteller for eerie narrations, unsettling mysteries, and haunting stories you won't forget. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story, because some stories refuse to stay buried. Join us, if you dare,